Healthy Care is the organisation that I'm from. It owns Hunter Nursing, and it's the largest privately owned group of private hospitals in Australia. I think what we need to start doing is breaking down healthcare and stop looking at it in its fragmented views. I think private industry is going to be the key push in this area to start integrating healthcare. It's not about doctors, it's not about technology, it's not about anything, it's about the patient. We need to keep the primary focus always on the patient, and until we do that, we're going to fail in all of our implementations. Everything else that revolves around there, in my view, is tools. Technology. The Intel Health Guide is a tool. Using Blackberries, using smartphones, using any of that as tools. Yes, the doctors out there sitting in the audience, you are a tool. All right, we need to faction, we need to identify. I could say that I work for a hospital group, they always give me back, don't worry. The truth of the matter is the primary care occurs where the patient is, and the patient spends a predominant amount of time at home. So that's where the progressive movement, that's where the void or the gap exists that we need to start trying to fill with technology and use technology as an assistive tool in it. We do have a very old population at the moment, and it's a population that we're doing incredibly well at keeping very old, but not necessarily paying much attention to the quality of life that they experience. When we have an aged population and we have this predominant problem of we cannot care for them in aged care facilities, and then we're trying to move them into the realm of shorter hospitalisation stays, trying to avoid readmissions, trying to save money through those areas of pinch in the private and public sectors, we've got nowhere to put it, and we're only transferring the strain. There's no discussion about it. Healthcare is under pressure in Australia. We talk about healthcare reform. We've got the politicians, grinding the war axe as they always do, and doing the normal thing with healthcare reform. We're not seeing any movements through our systems, any new realisations of better ways of caring for patients. And the reason for that is that the funding up until now hasn't been available. There has been no encouragement on innovation in that sense. We're looking at moving predominantly to short-stay surgical type hospitals, low care rehabilitation, short-stay facilities, and moving patients back out into primary care. Yes, we can show that a health guide works in Scotland, we can show that it works in America, but the reality is that we need to work in our current context with technology in Australia. We need to leverage off our current ADSL connections, our current connection speeds. The reality is we're going to have more old people than young people, and when that happens, we can't have a one-to-one relationship with that occurring. So we need to go to what is our next best thing. If that is a video conference between a clinician and a patient, whether or not that clinician's sitting in Sydney and the patient's in Uluru, makes no difference. The fact is that the 75-year-old patient that puts a face to it is not going to think of it as a box that sits on their table. It's not going to think of it as annoying questions. It's going to think of it as a nurse or a doctor on the other side.